천연두. 그것은 인류에게 닥친 질병 중에서 가장 치명적인 병으로 막강한 왕에서부터 시골 농부에 이르기까지 무차별적으로 인간을 공격합니다.
천연두가 역사에 영향을 미친 예는 상상도 못할 만큼 많습니다.
한때 그토록 위세가 등등했던 이 역병은 이제 거의 소멸 단계에 와 있지만 그 위험성은 그 어느 때보다도 큽니다.
만약 누군가가 생물 무기로 사용한다면 정말 큰일이죠.
천연두에 대한 최초의 기록은 9세기 페르시아의 의사 라지즈에게서 나옵니다. 그는 온몸을 뒤덮는 발진으로 시작해서 며칠 뒤 고름투성이 농포가 생기는 병세를 설명하고 있습니다. 눈에 이 균이 들어오면 실명을 할 수도 있습니다. 운이 좋다면 목숨은 건져도 평생 마마 자국이 남고 그렇지 않다면 죽고 말죠.
이 바이러스는 실제로 인체의 내부 조직을 파괴함으로써 사람을 죽입니다. 눈에 보이는 것은 피부에 나타나는 증상뿐이지만 그와 똑같은 일이 내장기관에서도 벌어지는 거죠. 폐와 주요 장기에까지도 침투해서 신체 조직을 파괴하죠. 그러면 환자는 결국 자기 내장기관의 체액에 빠져 익사하는 셈이 되는 거죠.
And in the 21st century, there is still one virus feared more than any other: smallpox.
When somebody is afflicted with smallpox, they have a hideous appearance and they're extraordinarily uncomfortable. About a week after the onset of the rash, then an individual will manifest with the characteristic pustular rash of smallpox. And such an individual is really a poor, wretched thing. The lesions will often appear inside the mouth and in the throat, so such an individual will be unable to swallow or take fluids on his own.
Severe cases of the disease can lead to bleeding and disintegration of the mucous membranes and intestines. In the last century, smallpox killed over 500 million people, more than all the fatalities of war in the 20th century. But in 1977, after a worldwide vaccination program, the last natural case was seen in Somalia.
To date, humans have only been able to eradicate one disease, namely that of smallpox. And in large part, that was done because smallpox was without a doubt the lion king of infectious diseases, killing millions and millions of people and spreading very easily from person to person. So its reemergence back into the modern world would be an absolute disaster, and I think would cause panic and fear second to none.
Michael Osterholm is a leading biological terrorism analyst and advisor to the United States government. He believes smallpox remains a realistic threat to civilian safety.
We have, I believe, compelling evidence that the smallpox virus does exist outside of selected laboratories in the former Soviet Union and the United States. That evidence strongly supports that Iraq, that North Korea has it, and that it may be located in other areas of the former Soviet Union outside of the designated laboratories. Once it's in those kind of settings, then God knows who else might have their hands on it. So I think that we have to absolutely assume that it's out there, it's potentially available, and it can potentially be used.
This threat prompted Osterholm to co-write an imaginary scenario based on a smallpox terrorist attack in the Chicago area.
It was a book that was really intending to alert our public officials and leaders that this is the reality of what can happen. To raise the myriad of questions all the way from how would you detect it, how would you respond to the public, how would you provide medical care, how would you in fact keep law and order, how would you keep everyday life moving, what would it do to the economy.
The scenario predicts a death toll of 140,000. In just 3 months, smallpox has reduced the city of Chicago to a ghost town, gripped by depression. People have abandoned their homes and businesses. There's little to stay behind for. The infrastructure has collapsed. Public transport has ground to a halt, and power cuts are frequent. The disease has spread around the world. One man alone is responsible. In a fictional scenario, smallpox has been released in Chicago, bringing the city to its knees. The story begins with a former Soviet germ warfare scientist called Yuri. When he defected to the United States, he secretly smuggled in a sample of smallpox from an unguarded laboratory. But disillusioned with his new life, he sold his secret weapon to a terrorist organization.
I think one of the things we have to remember also is that on September 11th, none of those skyjackers actually knew how to build one of those Boeing aircraft, but they knew how to get a hold of one. And one of the things that we're concerned about today is not just who might in fact steal or remove an agent like smallpox from a secured laboratory, but then who might they give it to, sell it to, or provide it to that then could actually use it. Unfortunately, the equipment you actually need to grow up the smallpox virus in chicken eggs, for example, is readily available in any number of hospital, academic health center, private industry laboratories, and so it wouldn't be hard to get that kind of equipment.
The fictional release takes place in a shopping center over a busy holiday weekend. Yuri arrives with his deadly weapon. Around him are thousands of unsuspecting victims. He attaches a small device disguised as a thermostat to the shopping center wall. Inside is a deadly delivery system propelled by a micro-aerosolizer. In 25 minutes, an odorless mist spreads silently through the 7-story building. The smallpox particles are slightly larger than 1/1,000,000th of a meter, the size of perfume particles hanging in the air from nearby cosmetics counters. Thousands inhale the virus without even knowing it. They return to 10 different states across North America.
The heating and ventilation systems throughout the United States are very effective at moving large amounts of air through large buildings. So once it's in that system, it then very quickly spreads itself.
One of the first victims is a local school teacher. While looking for a present to buy his wife, the virus makes its way into his lungs. The brick-shaped particles spread silently through his body over the next 10 days. They begin to invade his cells, and once inside, the particles take over and start to multiply. They steal proteins to build a powerful tail, propelling the virus particles towards the host cell's outer membrane. The pressure against the membrane triggers finger-like projections to reach out to other host cells. Inside each finger is a furiously twisting smallpox particle. They spread from cell to cell, shielded from the body's immune system inside the projecting tunnels. Eventually, the host cell disintegrates, releasing up to 100,000 new smallpox particles into the body. The process begins all over again.
The role that the person-to-person transmission plays following release of a virus like smallpox is huge. If we had a release today in Chicago or New York or Washington, D.C. or Minneapolis, and it was in a group of people who travel, such as an airport, 2 weeks from now, those people would be everywhere. You would expect to see a much higher percentage of those affected patients, those people capable of transmitting the virus, now all over the world. And that's what makes this such a dangerous situation.
Nearly 2 weeks after the attack, hospitals and family doctors are inundated with patients complaining of backaches, headaches, fever, and vomiting. They believe it is the start of a flu epidemic. It takes days for the disease to be identified, and at first no one believes it could be smallpox. Eventually, an urgent request is put out for vaccine supplies, but for thousands, it is already too late. They have been dealt a death sentence. A distraught nurse contacts a local TV channel. The news is broadcast within minutes, leading to citywide hysteria. Like the plague outbreak in India, the fictional outbreak in Chicago quickly leads to chaos. People desperately try to escape. Roadblocks are set up in an attempt to contain the virus.
You can understand the fear and the panic that would occur. Oh my God, is that person next to me who has a cough, or they have smallpox? Do I want to flee? Do I feel it's safe for my children to be out? Will I go to the store to get supplies that I might need?
Hospitals cannot cope with the staggering influx of patients. Some staff run away, too scared to work. Others are too ill. The wards are overflowing with victims. Each highly contagious patient has already triggered a new wave of disease, the first of many generations. The National Guard are ordered to shoot people who try to escape the city.
천연두.
그거죠.
And in the 21st century, there is still one virus feared more than any other: smallpox.
When somebody is afflicted with smallpox, they have a hideous appearance and they're extraordinarily uncomfortable. About a week after the onset of the rash, then an individual will manifest with the characteristic pustular rash of smallpox. And such an individual
가 생물 무기로 사용한다면 정말 큰일이죠.
천연두에 대한 최초의 기록은 9세기 페르시아의 의사 라지즈에게서 나옵니다. 그는 온몸을 뒤덮는 발진으로 시작해서 며칠 뒤 고름투성이 농포가 생기는 병세를 설명하고 있습니다. 눈에 이 균이 들어오면 실명을 할 수도 있습니다. 운이 좋다면 목숨은 건져도 평생 마마 자국이 남고 그렇지 않다면 죽고 말죠.
이 바이러스는 실제로 인체의 내부 조직을 파괴함으로써 사람을 죽입니다. 눈에 보이는 것은 피부에 나타나는 증상뿐이지만 그와 똑같은 일이 내장기관에서도 벌어지는 거죠. 폐와 주요 장기에까지도 침투해서 신체 조직을 파괴하죠. 그러면 환자는 결국 자기 내장기관의 체액에 빠져 익사하는 셈이 되는 거죠.
그것은 인류에게 닥친 질병 중에서 가장 치명적인 병으로 막강한 왕에서부터 시골 농부에 이르기까지 무차별적으로 인간을 공격합니다.
천연두가 역사에 영향을 미친 예는 상상도 못할 만큼 많습니다.
한때 그토록 위세가 등등했던 이 역병은 이제 거의 소멸 단계에 와 있지만 그 위험성은 그 어느 때보다도 큽니다.
만약 누군가